Meet Bob. Bob has a problem and he's not sure what to do about it. He has been thinking about this problem a lot lately, but it seems too big to solve on his own. The main objective of the peer assist is to help an individual, Bob, otherwise known as the peer assistee, to identify possible solutions to a real problem or challenge. It also enables shared learning within a group, as the group collaboratively offers solutions to the peer assistee. A peer assist is an event which brings peers together to share their experiences, insights, and knowledge on an identified challenge or problem. The challenge must be real and not made up. Before the peer assist can take place, Bob needs to contact some peers to invite them to the event. These peers could be colleagues from Bob's workplace or people who do similar work in other organizations. The number of invited peers can change for each peer assist, but usually works best with a group of 8 to 10 people. Bob has invited 8 peers to join tomorrow's 1-hour peer assist process. Another very important part of the peer assist process is that it is a facilitated event. The facilitator helps to ensure that the environment is a friendly one and that the conversation moves in a positive direction. Bob has just asked a colleague to act as the peer assist facilitator. A 10-minute discussion between the peer assistee and the facilitator prior to the actual peer assist process ensures that the problem is well articulated and understood by everyone participating in the peer assist. It is important to discuss any underlying issues that may have an effect on the problem and solution. At this point in time, Bob and the facilitator will discuss the process and agree on respective roles. Bob will practice telling the story and the facilitator will provide feedback. Bob will also provide facilitation tips and address any concerns that the facilitator may have. Bob and the facilitator are now ready for tomorrow's main event. Tonight, Bob will need to practice telling his story. He needs to clearly articulate the issue or challenge in no more than 5 minutes. The next day, the peer assist day. Bob and the facilitator arrive 15 minutes early to prepare for the session. They start by arranging chairs in a circle around a flip chart. On the flip chart, they write the title for the session and 3 key points which will help to highlight Bob's issue when he later explains it to the group. The facilitator will need to help with the discussion in order to promote fair and equal participation. She begins to explain the process and her role. Bob then starts to explain the problem. After participants have listened to Bob's problem, the facilitator will encourage questions for clarification from the participants, invite them to offer suggestions and paraphrase and summarize their ideas. If there is little input during the discussion, the facilitator will ask each participant for individual input. She may choose to do this by asking for suggestions based on personal experiences from all the people on one side of the circle and then the next side of the circle. She will remind participants that all suggestions are valid and should not be criticized. She will also ensure that Bob does not get defensive and is open to all of the suggestions. She will write all of the suggestions legibly on the flip chart for future use and make sure that the whole process takes no more than 45 minutes. At the end of the peer assist, it is useful for the facilitator and Bob to review with the group the ideas and suggestions that have been written on the flip chart in order to make sure that it is reflective of what has been said. Bob thanks the group of peers as well as his facilitator and tells them about how he will follow up. peer assist can also be used as a rotating peer assist. A rotating peer assist process is used for large groups between 20 and 60 people and is essentially the same. The difference with the rotating peer assist is that instead of having one circle of peers, one peer assistee, one facilitator, and one problem, there are multiple circles of peers, multiple facilitators, and multiple peer assistees with problems to share. The peer assistees and facilitators rotate with the problem from circle to circle, collecting multiple suggestions.